At 4 a.m., the school broadcast suddenly played a rule. 1 minute later, anyone lying on their bed would die. I didn't take it seriously at all. I got up and went to the bathroom. But when I came back, the dorm was completely silent. My roommates' bedboards were all being forced upward. The roommates who hadn't gotten up had all stopped breathing. I froze. The rule from the broadcast wasn't a joke. Screams and howls echoed through the dorm building. Clearly, everyone who hadn't gotten up was dead. I hurriedly took out my phone to call the police, but there was no signal at all. I panicked and tried to escape this terrifying place. The moment I pushed open the dorm door, the broadcast rules sounded again. Attention students, the school will issue a new rule every hour. When a new rule appears, the previous rule becomes invalid. Without permission, all students are forbidden to leave their dorm rooms. Violators will die. Attacking dorm supervisors, security, or staff is forbidden. Dorm rules will last for 5 hours and end at 9 a.m. Students who are still alive may leave safely. Hearing that leaving the dorm would also mean death, I immediately pulled my hand back. The first rule was released at 4 a.m., so the next rule wouldn't arrive until 5 a.m. I forced myself to calm down and looked out from the balcony at other dorm buildings, but everything around was completely silent. Just as I was feeling helpless, my phone suddenly made a crisp beeping sound. There was clearly no signal, so where was this call coming from? With confusion, I decisively answered. A clear voice came from the receiver. "Hello, my name is Yishan. I live in Building 7, Room 203. Those words shocked me. He was in the same building as me. "Hello, my name is Xia. I live in Building 7, Room 609. How did you contact me?" I was bored before and used a local network to set up a call group. It can call nearby devices. I just did it for fun. I didn't expect it to be useful now. We'd better unite and try to survive together. After hearing that, I immediately agreed. As the signal continued to spread, more than 20 people in the building joined the group. While everyone was discussing nervously, the time reached 5 a.m. The sharp broadcast sounded again. The first round of rules has ended. Current number of survivors, 352. Everyone gasped. The 4 a.m. wake-up rule came without warning. Some people never even woke up. From several thousand students in the whole school, only a little over 300 were left in the blink of an eye. The second round of rules has begun. Before I could think further, the next rule was announced. In the next hour, each building will be assigned one dorm supervisor for inspection. Students must stay properly on their beds and cooperate with the supervisor's work. After hearing this, everyone hurried back onto their beds. Soon, knocking sounds came through the phone. The dorm supervisor was at the door of room 102. "Is bed 1 here?" That student hurriedly answered. "I'm here." "Very good, then you can go die." Everyone was stunned. Before we could react, a heart-rending scream filled the receiver. Then came the sound of bedboards shattering. In less than 2 minutes, room 102 fell completely silent. I tightly gripped my phone and took a deep breath. The dorm supervisor had already arrived at the second dorm. A slightly trembling voice came through the call. "Why did he come to room 306? Isn't he going in room number order?" The supervisor's oppressive voice sounded again. "Is bed 3 here?" After hesitating for a long time, the student in room 306 chose the opposite answer from room 102. "No, I'm not here." The supervisor let out a cold laugh. Then came the sound of metal clashing. "Why don't you cooperate with my work? Aren't you lying nicely on your bed?" Screams pierced the entire building. The dorm supervisor killed another person. Someone in the call group cursed out loud. "This won't work. This really won't work. How are we supposed to cooperate?" Looking at the wording, death seemed unavoidable. We thought it would be similar to the first round, but in less than 5 minutes, the supervisor had already gone on a killing spree. If we couldn't figure out a solution, the second round would wipe us all out. Without any pause, the supervisor arrived at room 209. The students in room 209 asked anxiously, "He's here. What should I do?" Yishan calmly gave advice. "When he asks, don't answer yes or no." Hearing this, the student in room 209 felt like they had grabbed a lifeline. At this point, any chance to survive had to be tried. Soon, the supervisor's voice came again. "Is bed 4 here?" Silence. No one answered. The supervisor also fell silent for a long time. I held my phone and listened carefully. There was still no movement. Just as everyone in the group sighed in relief, the familiar chopping sound appeared again. Screams exploded. The bedboards shattered into pieces. Not speaking also meant death. The student who had cursed earlier completely lost control. Not speaking means death. Speaking means death. Saying yes means death. Saying no means death. What the hell counts as passing? I clenched my phone and racked my brain. At his slaughter-like speed, it wouldn't be long before he knocked on my door. Even Yishan, the group's organizer, kept thinking without finding a clear answer, only watching helplessly as the supervisor rampaged through the building. For a full 40 minutes, the dead students tried all kinds of responses. Some hid under their blankets, some shouted their names, and student numbers. Some even tried to fight the supervisor. None of it worked. We thought more than 20 people could survive together, but before the second round ended, only Yishan and I were left in the group. Before I could catch my breath, the supervisor's heavy footsteps stopped at my door. With despair, I closed my eyes and waited for death. But just before the supervisor opened the door, a bold idea flashed through my mind. I jumped up and leapt onto the neighboring roommate's bed. I didn't dare move at all. I could only wait silently. He looked at the empty bed first, then said the chilling line, "Is bed 3 here?" I clenched my teeth and didn't answer, not even making a sound. I clearly saw the blood-stained cleaver in his hand. When no one responded, the supervisor suddenly grinned and swung the cleaver wildly at my original bed. With little effort, he chopped the bed and quilt into pieces. The supervisor laughed softly and turned to leave. When his figure disappeared, I quickly stood up and told Yishan the method to pass. From the start, we had fallen into a misunderstanding. Staying on your own bed meant certain death, but the rule required everyone to stay on a bed. The only answer was to stay on a dead person's bed. It didn't violate the rules and still cooperated with the supervisor's work. As we waited for the next rule, a clear female voice came through the receiver. "Who are you?" "Hello, my name is Yishan. I live in building 7, room 203. "Hello, my name is Xia. I live in building 7, room 609. After hesitating for a moment, the other person said, "Hello, my name is Xiao Yu. I live in building 8, room 401. Xiao Yu said he was lucky and hadn't been inspected. Just as we were relieved for him, the broadcast sounded again. "The second round of rules has ended. Current number of survivors, 28. Before we could react, the broadcast announced the third rule. Next, an idiom chain game will begin. All 4 dorm members must participate. Each thinking time may not exceed 15 seconds. No repeated idioms within 3 rounds. We were completely stunned. Xiao Yu sounded confused. "Did I hear that right? My roommates have been dead for a long time. Are we supposed to drag them up?" As soon as the thought appeared, an unbelievable scene unfolded. The 3 long-dead roommates all sat up at the same time. Shocked cries came through the call. It seemed every survivor's roommates had come back. Before I could recover, one roommate spoke first. "Virtue gains support." The second roommate followed, helping a tyrant commit evil. It was my turn. I had no time to be afraid. My mind raced for the next idiom. No matter how hard I thought, I couldn't find a single one. As time ticked away, Yishan's voice came through. "Abuse the old, reward the young." I didn't have time to question it. I just repeated the sound. "Abuse the old, suffer hardship." I instantly felt relieved. Without Yishan, I would have died. I waited for the 4th roommate, but he froze. 15 seconds passed. He failed to say the next idiom and collapsed, dying again. I looked at the remaining roommates, thinking the game would continue with 3 people. Before I could finish speaking, the fallen roommate stood up again and restarted the chain from himself. One man rises to power. I was stunned. Dead roommates could revive no matter how many times they failed, but I only had one chance. No matter how knowledgeable someone is, they can't guarantee they'll always keep up. At that moment, Xiao Yu suddenly shouted. While playing, I pulled my roommate's hand. He didn't react at all. I was shocked. His courage was unbelievable. Most people would avoid them, yet he touched them. Yishan thought for a moment and asked, "But they revive even if they die. What's the point of attacking them?" Xiao Yu smiled and said, "If I block their mouths, can they still continue the chain?" His words woke us up instantly. All along, Yishan and I had focused only on the game rules, completely ignoring the state of the roommates. While picking up the dragon, I stuffed my mother's cloth into my roommate's mouth until the other party could not speak at all. 15 seconds later, my roommate suddenly fell to the ground. Although he got up again, he still couldn't open his mouth. I quickly ran as fast as I could, and in a few minutes, I shut the mouths of my 3 roommates. At this time, Yishan proposed an idiom cycle, letting us repeat it again and again. Wei fu bu ren, ren ji jin, jin li er wei, wei suo yu wei, and then pick up the first idiom and repeat it until the time is up. 4 idioms in a cycle, perfectly avoiding the rule that does not allow repetition. After having a solution, this level became extremely simple. It quickly came to 7 o'clock, and the broadcast started again. The 3rd round of rules is over. At present, there are 5 people. Next, we will start the 4th round of rules. Please step into the bathroom and prepare for a good shower. Everyone needs to shower before 8 o'clock for more than 25 minutes. After listening to the rules, I felt a chill run through me, and after the experience of the previous 2 rounds, no one dared to underestimate the difficulty of this rule. When I opened the bathroom door, the switch that controlled the temperature had disappeared. What replaced it was an electronic screen on the wall. The screen said, "Please select the water temperature in the next 2 minutes within 15 seconds. Once you make a choice, you must carry out the cleaning. Otherwise, at this time, there will be the sound of small fish coming from the mobile phone. If you choose to wash, even if it is 100 degrees, we must continue to wash." Yishan agreed after hearing this. Since that's the case, I suggest that we don't wash first. After reaching an agreement, we all click no. After the countdown ended, a new line of text popped up on the screen, selecting a water temperature of 70 degrees. A heat wave surged out of the shower head, instantly rolling up a burst of scalding steam. I took a deep breath, and a wave of fear immediately rose in my heart. If we had chosen to wash just now, our skin would probably have been peeled off by now. At this time, the first water release ended, and immediately, the second countdown began. Afraid to act rashly, we clicked no again, and this time the water temperature was 9 degrees. Ice-cold water splashed onto the ground, and a trace of regret inevitably arose in our hearts. Within 1 hour, we had to wash for a full 25 minutes. Every time we missed a suitable temperature, it made people feel a little heartbroken. With the third water release, it turned out to be a terrifying 98 degrees Celsius. This made me see a hint of a pattern. Could it be that the rule of releasing water was alternating between high and low each time? But the fourth release slapped me in the face, turning out to be a horrifying 83 degrees. Still, a high temperature that the human body could not endure. Just as everyone was hesitating, a voice suddenly came out of the phone. Next time, we all choose try. As the countdown began, we clicked without hesitation. To ease the fear, I closed my eyes and waited for the judgment of the water temperature. But when a warm and comfortable feeling arrived, I instantly felt relieved. This round's temperature was actually 37 degrees Celsius. At this moment, Ishan finally spoke out her guess. I repeatedly compared the previous few numbers and found that each new temperature of the 2-digit number is the number of digits of the previous temperature, so we have to choose all of them in the next round. After hearing this, I suddenly realized it. The previous round's water temperature was 37 degrees, so the next round might be between 70 and 79 degrees. As the countdown ended, the temperature was indeed 76 degrees. Next, we strictly followed the pattern and made our choices. Finally, at the end, we washed for a full 26 minutes, just meeting the requirements of the rules. Soon, the time reached exactly 8 o'clock, and the broadcast sounded as promised. The fourth round of rules is over. Current number of survivors, 3. Next, the final rule is announced. Please go to the end of your respective dormitory corridors within 10 minutes to conduct voice print verification. If all match, you pass. If a single verification fails or there are 3 consecutive failures, everyone will be wiped out. If someone is found to be maliciously sabotaging the rules and is successfully reported, you can pass directly. Xiaoyu asked in confusion, will someone really sabotage the rules? What does this mean? Ishan said calmly, don't panic, the probability is a trap. Let's finish the nuclear test first, then find the loopholes. I quickly ran to the end of the corridor. There stood a screen with the words, waiting for input, displayed on it. After confirming that everyone had arrived in front of the screen, Xiaoyu was the first to shout out his name. Then a voice from the receiver said, match successful. I followed closely, and then shouted Xiaxia's name, and the screen also popped up with match successful. When it was Yishan's turn, she deliberately cleared her throat and then read out the 2 words, Yishan. Unexpectedly, the screen suddenly turned red and then emitted a piercing alarm. Voice print mismatch? Suspected rule violator. Xiaoyu's voice instantly rose. Yishan's voice trembled with panic. It must be a problem with the screen. Xiaxia, you must believe me. 2 details suddenly flashed through my mind. In the third round, when Xiaoyu suggested using mom's cloth to block our roommates' mouths, his tone had been too confident, as if he already knew this method would work. And just now, Yishan's voice was completely different from how it sounded in the group before, as if she had deliberately lowered her voice. I hurriedly interrupted them and signaled Yishan to verify again. Yishan froze for a moment, then adjusted her tone and once again read out, Yishaner.
The screen still showed it did not match. There was suspicion of voice line disguise. At this moment, Xiaoyu shouted at the screen, I report that Yishan is the one who broke the rules, and he is faking his identity. He deliberately caused Heian to fail. Immediately after that, a report with timestamp message popped up on the screen. Yishan's voice suddenly turned cold. Xiaoyu, you're really good at acting. You actually already knew I was pretending, right? What do you mean? Yishan let out a soft laugh and said, Xiaoxia, do you really think I'm the only planner and that Xiaoyu is the real rule maker? In the third round, she deliberately noticed that her roommate didn't respond and guided us into conversation. In fact, she was the one who chose the person who would make the mistake. She deliberately cooperated with my water temperature rules so that you would completely trust us. My whole body trembled. What do you actually want to do? Xiaoyu's voice completely changed, filled with cruelty as she said, what do we want to do? Revenge? You think your brother was just a silent bystander back then? He was the one who pushed Yishan's younger brother off the building, and my sister was nothing more than a pawn you used. In the end, she was silenced by your brother. So that's how it was. My brother and Yishan's younger brother were classmates back then. They became enemies over a recommendation quota. To secure the quota, my brother accidentally pushed Yishan's brother off the rooftop, during an argument. To prevent Xiao Yu's sister from revealing the truth, my brother had no choice but to kill her as well. Afterwards, he disguised both deaths as accidental falls. So you designed all these rules to make me pay with my life, right? Changming is just the first step. The real purpose of the sound and text nuclear test is to trigger the same sense video program. As long as one person is reported as the rule breaker and the nuclear test fails 3 times, the entire building will begin to explode. Everyone involved will be buried alive. 5. Xiao Yu added, I reported Yishan just to trigger the program. Yishan, stop acting. Quickly fail for the 3rd time. Let him go to hell with us. Unexpectedly, Yishan suddenly fell silent. After a few seconds, his voice carried a hint of complexity as he said, I've changed my mind. What did you say? We've been planning for so long just for this. Today, I designed these rules to make your brother pay the price. But Xiaoxia, you are different. You were willing to share the way to pass, willing to trust your companions, and even able to clearly identify my voice. You are not as cold as your brother. Xiao Yu said angrily, Yishan, you're crazy. There's no way back for us. No, there is still a way out. Yishan said to the screen, cancel all voice messages and stop self-reporting. Then the screen flashed red, and the words, all rules invalid, popped up. Xiao Yu's hysterical scream came through the receiver. You betrayed me. I won't let you have an easy time. Immediately after, the sound of a heavy object falling from a height came through the phone. Yishan said with exhaustion, I will give all the evidence to the police, including the truth about your brother and my brother, and the evidence that Xiao Yu and I planned all of this. You made me understand that even with hatred, you should never bury an innocent person. You can go. The door is open. At this moment, the broadcast sounded again. The rules are over. Final number of survivors 1.